Hello, welcome back to Jesse's Vintage Garage, and we have a new project here we're going to be working on. We were approached, and someone was wondering if we'd be interested in rebuilding an engine for them, and this is what we got given to us to rebuild for this person. And it looks like it's pretty much all here. I mean, we're talking about this is an Evolution engine, of course. You can tell by the heads here and stuff. But this is exactly how he got this engine when he bought it. It's all torn apart, all the parts individually bagged up pretty much, and he along the way purchased a few things that he knew that he would need, and they're like laying right here, like push rods, cam, bearings, shims, gasket set, head bolts, brand new head bolts. And anyway, so let's go ahead and get started about talking about this.
The first thing we did when we seen this motor was that the cylinders were not ready to go. The pistons were out of it and they looked great, but the bore was really smooth. And so I recommended to him that he takes it to, because I don't have the equipment to do it. So I recommended that he takes this to a Harley shop and have it measured out. And if it measures out good, have it honed and put new rings in it and have it ready to go. So he did. He took it to a Harley shop. They measured it up and they said it was great. All it really needed was to have it honed, lightly honed, and so the rings would reseat, and they loaded it. They put the rings on like it's supposed to be, and they put the wrist pins back in and set them right here. So all we got to do when we go to put it on is pull this out a little bit, put the wrist pin keepers in, and assemble it. And so they did that to both of those. So it is ready. Them cylinders are ready to go. And so all we will have to do is assemble that part. So we've been keeping this so it doesn't get dirty. And this motor came with an S&S oil pump. Looks really good. Don't show anywhere when I looked it all over. It has gems. Where does it say? There it is. Gems, aluminum lifter blocks, and gems lifters. And so they are clean and ready to go, which is really nice. Not only does it have gems lifter blocks and roller lifters, it also has gems somewhere. I thought it said it somewhere. Roller lifters and
Or rockers, yeah.
rockers, and they marked on them which one went where when they took it apart. So
That's good.
right, intake, so on. So and I was told that these are gems also. So I guess that's all I know. The heads, I go to the motor, which I took this all apart, and I did he bought the motor as is. He's got a project for it, and he didn't really know what year the motor was. He didn't know the year or anything. So I took the serial number over here, because it still has serial number on it, and I decoded it, and it says that it's a 1989, and it came out of an FLST Heritage Softail. Not the Classic, because Classic would have had a black motor. And the regular Heritage Softail, we can call it a standard, I suppose. I don't think they called it a standard. They just called it FLST, not the FLSTC. And that's what this is, FLST. And so it's been aluminum motor, aluminum cylinders, aluminum head, and it would have been have an aluminum timing cover too.
Yeah, I mean they were all aluminum, but what he means is they were silver. Silver heads, silver cylinders, and silver cases.
And silver rocker covers. Now he, or the people that had this, had some chrome covers.
Yeah, just the top cover of it.
Yeah, and he likes these, so we're going to use these.
Polished.
And the heads. The heads. I thought I had it out. Okay. The heads are also 89, HD 89. So that means to me that these heads and this block and probably the whole motor is all 89, and which it don't really matter.
Yeah, but it
wasn't.
Checks out with the
But
vehicle.
it probably wasn't all original motor, other than they did a lot of upgrades to it. You know, like they put the gym stuff here.
Oh, they were getting ready to
Roller
do that stuff to
rockers. Well, they were used.
Oh.
So I'm assuming they went to this motor. I don't know that. All I know is this is how we got it. And it came with this new chrome nose cone. And it is, and by the way, it's an 89, so that means that it's a crankcase breather motor, not a head breathing motor. And how you can really tell that is it has a breather pipe comes out here. And it'll have a pipe here. And the gasket has this separation part that separates the breathing section from the rest of the motor. Now, the later ones, the gasket does not have this, and it does not have that. And there's a change in the breather that goes in here. And I don't have the part numbers here. And this pipe would not be there. Then they would also have somewhere up in this head over here, there would be a drilled port somewhere in here that would have an umbrella seal in it. And so that's all missing. So it would actually be the umbrella seal.
It should be in the middle one, right?
It would be in this.
Yeah. It comes through this little triangle right here. I'm not triangle, rectangle here. And they would breathe up through that. And then, if I remember right, there would actually be a provision for the umbrella to be in this center piece here. Now, I had a Sportster that had to have rocker box gaskets all replaced, and I remember seeing all that stuff. And I've worked on these kind of motors when I worked at the Harley shop, and I remember seeing all that stuff. So that is accurate there, that the umbrella valve would have been in here.
They started the umbrella motor, the head breathing motors in 1993. So this motor was in production from 1984 to 1992. And this is an 89. So it's not the last year of the cam chest breathing motor, but it all looks good.
And it works like this. It'd be pretty difficult to probably convert it over to the...
Well, you can convert it, but it's a lot of work. It's a lot of extra costs and a lot of extra, it's not necessary. So there was probably reasons they did it, but...
I know when you buy new heads, I think you were saying.
When you're going to buy a new head, let's say he decides to put aftermarket heads on this, they don't I don't think you can buy the one with the small holes here anymore. It'll have a larger boss here with the big hole that would breathe. And there'll be a hole up in here somewhere that'll go up.
Right.
Well, I'm thinking there's going to be a gasket that for the earlier motor that seals that off so it wouldn't leak. Or we'll have to plug it. And,
if he goes with different
if he
heads.
goes with different heads. Otherwise,
These heads are fine.
these heads are fine. And
Yeah.
and so the next step is we are waiting for some small pieces that are missing. We're missing the thrust washer that goes behind the cam shims right here. It's got 2 tabs that hang down over here.
Yeah, just like the 56 had when we had that 58.
It's missing that, so he's ordering that. And the breather that we got with it is an oversized breather, and it does not fit. So he's ordering a standard because the bore is perfect on this.
Yeah, and then you can get oversized ones because the bores become not perfect.
Yeah, if the motor ever got blown up,
Yeah.
and metal went through it, it just, yeah. And then they do that. And the other thing that's missing is this nut that goes here.
Oh, okay.
Up until 1992, it used the same nut that's in the 56.
Like the 58, right?
58
right
and
side.
58 and later, I should say.
Yeah, 'cause
and it's got 2 flats on it, and it turns in. And then in 93 and later, it's got it's got multiple sides. Like a socket will fit it. And I'm not so sure if they changed the threads. Like maybe they don't interchange. I'm not that up on that. I just know most of the machines that we ever took apart, all we were doing is putting a different cam in it. So all the parts you took out, you put back in. And you just never question what part was what. And because they're all here.
Right.
And everything else looks good in here. Everything looks nice. All the threads are good, everything. Except for this. It's really beat up. And he's buying a new one of them too. So until we get these next parts, we're just going to hang out and wait until we get those. And then we're going to
we'll see what we can do in the rest of this video.
Start assembling.
Yeah, well, when we got this, it sounds like that the cases are together. Of course, it looked like it. And the roller, the crank is ready to go in here. So this is where we're at the next steps after putting the crank in and putting the cases together. So so it should be a fairly straightforward build. Yeah.
Basically, it's going to be a top end and a cam cover assembly, because a new cam and shim it and put the new breather gear in and get everything timed, put the lifter blocks in and cylinders and put her together. And the oil pump, yes. And then assemble it out, and we'll be done. So
yeah, it seems pretty cool. It's kind of rough when you get a project from somebody when you buy it. It's all tore apart. You don't know where to begin and where to start, and all that stuff.
And he doesn't know either, because he bought it just like this, but he bought it reasonable, and that's the way.
Yeah, everybody wants reasonable.
So and it looks all good. So we're gonna assemble it, and we're gonna see what it does.
All right, so we're still going through this real quick, and we're probably going to come to an end here pretty soon, but we're just going to talk about a couple things here. This nose cone, it's a specific year range, and you were going to say something about it?
Yeah, this will fit anything from 1973 to 1992, because it's the breather style here. But this particular cover was bought, and the bushing was not reamed. It's too tight. It don't fit. There's no way you can put that together.
Yeah.
So the only way to use this is you would have to tear these cases apart and line ream this. And we have a line reamer, but the owner does not want to do that, so his theory is he has a shovel head that falls, and I think it's a 81, and that has to have the bottom end taken down. And so he's going to use this on that, and we will line ream that when we come time to use it. So he's buying one that's already reamed and should be ready to install. So we're going to see how that goes.
Okay, we got one more thing to talk about here before we come to a close on this short little video of introduction for this. This is, like we were talking, this is a 84 through 91 style engine. The next part we're going to talk about is kind of a well-known, or what, not really well-known, but it's a well-kept secret, kind of in a way, because it just didn't reach public knowledge. Most of the Harley shops knew this because there were service bulletins that came out through the Evolution timeline, so this is, like we were talking about in the beginning, this is an 89 engine. So anyway, the studs here, see, a lot of people think that these might be in wrong, but this is a pre-94 engine, or a pre-95 engine, I should say.
Well, between 94 and 95, somewhere in there.
So anyways, what I'm trying to say is that these studs are actually correct for 84 through 1994, because in 95 they switched them around, started putting this boss right here, this ridge to the base. And for that, there's a real good reason for that, because base gaskets always leaked in these motors, and they didn't really know why, in a way, right?
Right. They gave you reasons like let them warm up and things like that. And then in about late 94, 95, when this change came about and the service bulletin came out, they really didn't make that widely known. So what happened, those motors, the base gaskets never leaked. I mean, it's mainly because what happens is these nuts.
Yeah, so the 95 through 99 Evos didn't really leak.
When you torque these nuts down, head bolts down onto this, if you didn't use like a standard Harley head gasket, which by the way is thicker than like a James head gasket and quite a bit thinner. And so Jameses are thinner, so that brought the head bolt closer to bottoming out. And if it bottomed out before the torque was correct,
then the head could be loose, because
the
all your
head
torquing is up against this.
Yep, the head gasket and the base gasket will not be cinched down good enough.
Now, it doesn't even show this in those early manuals. It isn't until like the 95, 96.
It never tells in the service manual.
97,
never.
99.
It just tells in the service manual that you have how to do it. Like this is a 97, and it says right here, it says install this end up. And here's the shoulder. And then Loctite.
So when somebody's building an Evo and they don't realize they have an old engine, they come across this and think the guy's a tool that had this before and they've installed it wrong.
Right. But actually it was correct.
For this engine.
And if you go into an older, like if you had an 89, for instance, since this is 89, let's say you had the 89 service manual, it'll tell you to put these in here. And they will tell you that you put these in and you turn them down to 5.570, and
that's deck height all the way to the top.
To the very top.
Yep.
And so what that amounts to, and I'm going to show you something real interesting here. Here is
we don't know if these have ever been touched, but what he's going to show you here is the measurement on all of them.
570. 570 right there. I mean, they could probably be a little off here or there. But anyway, this is what we have here. So you come down, and this one, if you look, is a little low, which would not hurt nothing.
Okay. Yeah, because then it would actually torque to the head and not to the ridge.
Right. This one is a little low.
Okay, those two look good. There's our problem.
This one is high.
So this this
This
nut
one
here
is-
would not tighten right.
This one is quite a bit high. Look at the gap under there. We're talking 32nd of an inch. And this one is high. So these two weren't put in deep enough. This one is way high.
It's kind of hard to see it, but yeah, we can.
I mean,
Oh,
look,
yeah.
look at how high that
Yeah,
is.
you're not even close.
That's almost a 16th of an inch.
Yeah.
And there's thread sticking out. So-
Oh yeah, look at that.
And so, you know, so you check each one of these. So if this was my motor, I would say that'd be good because then you'd take extra torque before you'd ever hit this. But at this one here and these other ones that are high, oh, you run the risk of bottoming out.
So at the Harley shop, if a 94 and older motor Evo came in with base gasket problems, we were told to pretty much just pull the top end apart, switch out the gaskets, and flip these studs over according to that service bulletin.
Or replace the studs.
If we were even remembered that this is an early motor or not, but because some bikes you can't tell what it is. I mean, because they have it all customized and whatever else. But
you take it apart if they're upside down, you turn them over, and
Yeah.
that's just a common practice. But most shops may or may not even know that service bulletin ever came out, and unless you had the year that it was this way turned over, and like this 97 service manual I have,
yeah,
it tells that the other way is the best way, and you don't have to worry about height. The height issue is not an issue anymore because each one of these, you turn these over, and you put Loctite on the threads, and you run it down to 10 foot-pounds to the shoulder, each one of them. Then all the studs are exactly the same height, and the head bolts will never run out of threads because when you have them on there, according to what I've been able to figure out, that there's be about 2 threads left over.
Right.
You can't see it, but that's what I've been told.
yeah. I mean,
So-
yeah.
And you'll never have to worry about them running out onto this and you think it's torqued.
Yeah, because we want that head to come down tight against the gasket.
Squeeze and put the proper amount.
Yeah, so then back when I was at the Harley shop, they would have like 97s and 98s, 99s all come in that wanted to change out the heads, Scream Eagle heads or whatever, right? So then they'd switch them out. They'd be already set up. We'd have no problem. But then when somebody would come in with like, let's say an 87 Softail or a 95, a 94 or whatever,
93.
93, and then they do the same thing, but then all of a sudden we would have a leaking problem. And you definitely want to use new head bolts or head nuts, whatever you want to call these. They're calling head bolts. But
The standard ones came in 2 or 3 different versions, and they were marked, I think, CP, and then they had a number behind them. And these are not Harley; these are Colony. So it's,
Colony makes some really good stuff, and we're hoping that these are the hard ones and are really good. They should be.
They shouldn't stretch.
Yeah.
The latest head bolts for an Evo, it is recommended that they can only be taken off and reused like 4 times, and then they need to be thrown away and you put new ones on. And a lot of people don't do that either. They just keep right on using
And some people have a common practice of putting all new hardware in right
them.
away.
Yeah, every time. And that's a good practice.
Some people want to save money and cut corners, and then that can be a problem. I mean, this is a well-tuned machine right here. This thing is spinning around 4,000 revolutions per minute. I mean, and this is going straight up and straight down. I mean, if you really think about it, this is a bomb waiting to happen. It's just holding together by a few nuts and bolts.
Yep.
So anyway, I think that comes to a conclusion so far on this, and we'll probably reiterate this later down the road when we start really working on this and wrenching on it. But I really hope you enjoyed everything and found out something too here with this. So I'm glad we were able to talk about it. So anyways.
In the next version, our next episode will be turning these all over.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Or replacing them, one of the two. Depends upon what the owner wants to do.
Yeah.
So.
Well, thanks a lot, and we'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching.